I'm Jack Quaid, and you're watching TrekCulture. Live long and prosper.
Hello folks, how are you? And welcome to our news video on all of the things that we learned at New York Comic Con 2025. Now, you'll already have probably seen our breakdown of the footage that was released from Season 4 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. It's the opening scene, do check it out. And also, we've done a frame-by-frame breakdown of the brand new trailer for Star Trek Starfleet Academy. Both of those available on our site. Check those out now. I want to jump straight into the very surprising cast announcement for Starfleet Academy. I'm going to say straight away, I was not expecting this. Stephen Colbert, host of The Late Show, is going to be joining the cast of Star Trek Starfleet Academy as the digital Dean of Students. He made a surprise announcement tonight at New York Comic Con where he said that yes, he will be lending his voice to Starfleet Academy. He joked about in his announcement that he would not have to put up with the hours of makeup that his co-stars are going to have to put up with because he can just record his lines. It's quite funny. Well, because of many things, but also Stephen Colbert is well known to be a Star Trek fan and has been for a very long time. He has interviewed so many Star Trek alum, both past and present, on his show. And it's funny because as we were watching this, we were thinking, well, hang on, one of the interviews that we talk about when we talk about Paul Giamatti getting cast in Starfleet Academy is when he spoke to Stephen Colbert on his show several years ago saying how much he'd like to be in Star Trek.
Looking for a VPN? Well, we've got a great deal from Nord. Get 73% off and 3 months extra free. Just click the link in the description down below.
It's like there's just this kind of theme of if you will it, it will happen. So maybe there's hope for us yet. All of us, we could all be joining Star Trek. Actually, I just really want that now. I really, really want that now. He possibly delivered one of his lines. He said he gets to sit there and say things like, Krebs, your Talaxian fur fly has left the replicator and is mating with itself. Report to the science lab immediately. Children are watching. Whether or not that is a line in it, it's just nice to have a shout out to Talaxian fur flies as well. I haven't seen one of those since the Voyager episode Timeless. This was a very pleasant surprise, and especially when you think about everything that Stephen Colbert has gone through with Paramount and CBS in the last few months. Oh, I think you know what I'm talking about. It's also nice, this was hardly anyone throwing him a bone or anything like that, but in the grand scheme of things, you can kind of see that it is sort of nice that in another CBS property, they did reach out to him and did invite him to be a part of this. Yeah, I'm on board, I have to say. I'm quite happy that his voice at least will be joining the show. He was not featured in the trailer at all. Now, as I said, I've already gone through and done a shot-by-shot breakdown of that. But the other things that we learned about Starfleet Academy come from the panel where we had cast and crew, and also the website that's gone live. It's on StarTrek.com, but it's, Starfleet Academy as well. We learned quite a bit, so to try and keep it in order, I'm going to start with the panel. So Alex Kurtzman and Noga Landau, the co-showrunners of Starfleet Academy, introduced several of the cast on stage. We had Paul Giamatti, we had Kareem Dayoneh, we had Keris Brooks, we had George Hawkins, we had Bella Shepherd, we had Zoe Steiner, we had Sandro Rosta, and we had Holly Hunter. So, not a bad turnout. They all got a chance to speak briefly about their characters. Hunter and Giamatti both spoke about how, as children, they had watched Star Trek with their families, and that it was sort of a long full circle moment to join the show. It was, it's something that probably all of us can identify with to a certain extent. The younger cast were clearly very excited to be there, and you could see there was a lot of nerves on stage as well. There was one nice moment actually. The panel was being hosted by Josh Horowitz, who of course hosts the Happy Sad Confused podcast, which just has like the best guests ever. And George Hawkins just took a moment to say how much he appreciated Josh's work on that as well. So that was a lot of fun, because sometimes it's nice for hosts to get a bit of a shout out. But they all spoke about how excited they were to join Star Trek. And it's funny because we're a little bit closer to the release of the show. We've seen some footage. We have a bit of an understanding of their characters now. But I think what affected me personally the most was Keris Brooks. Now, she was obviously very affected by being there. She was openly in tears on stage. But she specifically spoke about how this show is about hope. And particularly hope in a very dark time in human history, which I'm sad to say we are living through, but we know that. And she spoke about how wonderful it felt and how overpowering it felt to be a part of that hope, to offer that to people. And it was quite a moving thing to hear. She was obviously very, very moved herself, and you could see there was a real sense of camaraderie on stage. Not that, I want to see people upset or in tears or anything, but this clearly means something to her and to the cast on stage as well. And whatever Starfleet Academy ends up being, you can see that it's a show where there's so much passion has gone in. If you watch our recent interview with Robert Picardo as well, you will see his excitement and how important Starfleet Academy feels to him as well. One interesting thing to consider as well about the USS Athena that they revealed both in the Entertainment Weekly interview that came out before New York Comic Con, but they spoke again about it on stage, was that they likened it to a teaching hospital. It's how they were able to basically get away with having a bunch of cadets at the academy and also having them out exploring space. So as a man who watched all of ER as I was growing up, and that was a teaching hospital, yeah, I'm sort of on board with that. That's fine with me. Over onto the website for Starfleet Academy, and it's good fun. There's lots of little Easter eggs in there. It's a very much a sort of, some stuff we've seen in the trailers, and some stuff as well, it's like advertising, do all the Cardassian cadets want to get together on a Saturday morning, or do you want to go on a camping trip to Cestus 3? And a lovely shot of the Vasquez rocks there as well. There's a page dedicated to alum from Starfleet Academy, and we get Sisko, Janeway, Kirk, Picard, Archer, Pike. We also get Ch'Wolk, who is of course the Horta who served on the USS Titan, which just seems like such a random inclusion, but a lovely shout out from Beta Canon, because that is a character that was there in the books and is now part of Alpha Canon as well. Alpha and Beta, they always mix and match. It's quite fun. 7 of 9 was there as well. Michael Burnham, of course, who was there, who, by the way, I have not lost hope for a cameo from Sonequa Martin Green in Starfleet Academy. I'm fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We learned other little bits as well, sort of like more names of places. We'd seen in earlier trailers and pictures a James T. Kirk pavilion, but there's also an Uhura pavilion and a Sato atrium, probably from Hoshi. And I really hope that she had a happier ending than those suggested endings on In a Mirror Darkly. But sure, we won't dwell on that. At Comic-Con as well, there was also the Starfleet Academy pop-up walkthrough experience, which was quite well attended. I had a couple of friends who were there and sent some lovely pictures. Thank you very much. You know who you are. And it looked like you could join whatever department you wanted. You could all get comm badges, which just looks really cool. I really like the comm badges. I'm really digging the comm badges, I have to say. We see banners for all the various races who are in Starfleet now. The Laplings, who were, they were in The Most Toys, the episode of The Next Generation. There's a sign for them in the trailer, but there's also a big banner for them at the walkthrough as well. It was really fun. I've got to say that was fun. Just nice little deep cuts like that. For the Strange New Worlds panel, I will say there was not an awful lot of news given. So you had Kurtzman and Agiva Goldsman and Henry Alonso Myers. And then you had also Ethan Peck, Sally Rose Gooding, Melissa Navia, and Martin Quinn, most of whom spent most of their time speaking about what's come before, seasons 1, 2, and 3. Something I've seen in press over the last while is that because 3 is obviously just aired, 4 is finished, certainly filming, and they're now filming 5. There's sort of a bit of an how to keep it all together. There was maybe a bit of a tongue-in-cheek moment. I mentioned this in the Strange New Worlds video, that Akiva Goldsman says, hang on, which one was season 3 again? That was the Vesda. Oh yeah, that was that one. I have no doubt that was a little bit put on for stage, but also I sort of get it as well. But I will say there wasn't an awful lot of news came out of their panel. We did, of course, get the bit of footage from season 4 as well, so I've broken that down. But nothing extra on the puppet episode, nothing extra on... There was no casting announcements, for example, made for Strange New Worlds, and there was conspicuously absent was a release date. What was also absent from the panel was any new show announcements. There was not a dicky bird about Justin Simien and Tawny Newsom's live action show. I'm not giving up hope on that altogether, but I think if maybe by next San Diego we haven't heard anything, it might have been something that maybe didn't go anywhere. We also didn't hear anything about any potential theatrical releases. When the merger with Skydance went through, there was immediately a statement out that says there was a big focus on theatrical releases. And in fact, we spoke about this before, where they sort of made it clear that they're going to move away from streaming movies, so which makes the long treks a little bit less likely at the moment. But it did seem like they were gunning for theatrical releases. The fact that there was nothing announced about it doesn't mean that there won't be any. I'm sure there will be. We still have that Toby Haynes film still being spoken of. Quite recently, in fact, Zachary Quinto said that he and the cast were ready to come back and do Star Trek 4, as did Simon Pegg at Vegas this year as well. But as it stands, nothing in terms of movie news, nothing in terms of show news as well. The rest of New York Comic Con was devoted to things like, well, frankly, merch. Fan Home was there. Obviously, they've been doing their run of ships recently from everything kind of post-2017. But they did have a nice couple of surprises at their stand. They showed off some of the new models that are coming, including the Protostar, which looks fantastic. We also have the Voyager A. We saw the Drexler as well, which is a Pathfinder class ship. They also made a bit of a surprise and both welcome for collectors and unwelcome for people who are trying to save money announcement that they were going to do a run of the XL ships that Eaglemoss had done before they went under. So for people who didn't manage to nab any of the Enterprises, anything like that, I know some of them are like gold dust. The Enterprise A, for example, is very hard to find, the Enterprise C. They are going to be doing a run of those, and they're going to be available from their website for individual purchase as well. So that's a little bit cool. Nacelle also showed off some more of their range of upcoming action figures as well. We'd seen some of these designs before, but we've got a little bit more context about them. For example, their figure of Bem, who is a Pandronian who can separate into different parts, is going to be held together by magnets, which I think is really, really cool. We saw hard copies, for want of a better word, of Year of Hell Janeway and Nog. We also got teased as well with some more images of the Generations Kirk. But what I thought was so cool is that the First Contact Picard is going to come with a wall of his little ships that he broke. I'm sorry, I'm so excited for that. My wallet's terrified, but, in terms of cool stuff coming, there is a bit. Hallmark showed off some of their upcoming ornaments as well. We had Boimler and Mariner from Lower Decks, who look fantastic. We also had the Titan A and the Star Trek arcade game. All of those were available there. We also saw the Starfleet Academy boots from Fluvog. They look quite comfortable, really. And there was also, of course, book signings by David Mack as well. Folks, it looked like it was a lot of fun. Gutted to not be there, but it was wonderful that they were able to stream the panel. That was a big thing, so thank you very much to Star Trek for doing that. And thank you everyone who's been sending us pictures. Thank you to the people I've seen walking around in TrekCulture t-shirts as well. Yous are awesome, folks. Thank you so, so much. If and when we get news, we will, of course, bring it to you again. You are epic. Until I'm talking to you again, make sure that you live long and prosper. We have lots of stuff coming up on the channel. We have an interview, in fact, with Marcus and Sam Bagala, the co-composers for Star Trek Can. That will be dropping later on this week, so enjoy that. We also have some nice, fun podcast stuff coming. We have lots of episodes. Our retro ups and downs are still going. Most importantly, We're so grateful to you for watching along. So thank you for watching all of our coverage for New York Comic Con 2025. We will talk to you very, very soon, my friends. And January 15th, there'll be a new season of ups and downs to come. Until then, look after yourselves. Live long and prosper. Thanks very much.
Fascinating.
Hey nerds, I'm Will Wheaton.
I'm Lawrence Fleckenbill.
I'm Wilson Cruz.
Hello, I'm Robert Picardo.
Hi, I'm Mike McMahon.
I'm the now visitor.
Rob Kaczynski.
This is Todd Stashwick.
Jack Quaid.
Gabrielle Ruiz.
Armin Shimmerman.
Jonathan Frakes.
John Billingsley.
Elias Dufexis.
Nicholas Meyer.
Melissa Navia here.
I'm Killian O'Sullivan, and you are watching
TrekCulture.
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 You're watching TrekCulture.
TrekCulture.
How smart you are.
Live long and prosper.